Right, so we're out and about in the van today. We're on a little jolly away from the farm. We are going to Rachel's house. Now, you'll meet Rachel in a minute. There's a good reason why we're going to Rachel's house. We are going to help her out. And we've got a STIHL iMow on board, and we're going to put it in Rachel's garden and see what it does, the benefits behind robotic mowers, and then we'll check back in a few weeks' time as well and see what obviously the lawn looks like. So let's get over to Rachel's, introduce her and her garden, and then yeah, we'll go from there.
Tested by Machinery Nation.
Right, lovely day for it, Rich, isn't it?
It is indeed.
To put a robot mower into the garden. Got your sun cream?
I have.
You sure?
Yeah.
Ideal. Brilliant job. So yeah, we made it to Rachel's garden, and we're going to have a little check round and see what we've got to contend with, what obstacles we might have. And yeah, it's a beautiful garden, but it's in the middle of nowhere, and it's perfect for a STIHL robot mower. And we got the iMow EVO 5.
Yeah.
So it runs on 4G, so we can basically use the mower and check on it from back at the farm as well. So what have we got to contend with then, Richie?
We've got a nice little manhole cover.
Yeah.
If we put a bit of topsoil
Yeah.
over it, and it'll just be able to run over the top of it.
We've got some sloping edges. Again, these sort of things is, you know, no conventional mower is going to do that anyway, but that will need to be trimmed off. And there'll be very limited trimming anyway with an iMow in this garden, because most of the boundaries actually go into like what I call like a soft boundary, so they can run over the edge of the boundary. So there'll be very limited trimming other than the banks. We got a drop away there, which again, having a wired system is perfect, because if the mower on, should we say, on an RTK system loses itself, it could potentially go out over, whereas with a wired system, at least you've got a little bit more security with a mower not disappearing out over the edge, basically.
Absolutely.
And then we've got a bonfire down there. We'll go round that because that is a used bonfire throughout the year, so we'll segregate that zone off, and again, that's easy to do with a STIHL. We're going to put the base station just there, so just in this area here, so that'll make it, well, nice and easy. It'll be out the way of sight of the road as well. As you can see, typical sort of UK lawn, bit of everything going on in there. You've got your dandelions, you've got your thatch, you've got a bit of moss. So hopefully a robot mower will take care of that and give a really good finish. Right, so we're here with Rachel in Rachel's back garden. It's a nice back garden, Rachel, it really is. Anyway, so we are going to help Rachel today. We are going to install a STIHL iMow. Why do you want some help, Rachel?
So at the weekend, I don't want to spend the whole week, well, at least 2 hours cutting the grass. So it takes a long time, and I'd rather be relaxing in the garden or having a barbecue with friends.
There you go. And typical Devon weather as well. When you get out to cut your grass, normally it's raining as well. And you probably want a decent finish on your lawn.
Yeah, you said it's going to make the lawn very nice. So.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed. If not, Rachel will be on our case. Anyway, let's get it unboxed and install it. So as I mentioned, we've got the EVO 5 iMow from STIHL. We had to get an install kit for it because they don't come as standard. So if you're installing it in your garden, it is so simple to do. You have to get yourself an install kit to go with it. We went for the small one because we've got a smaller garden. This particular model will go up to 1,500 meters squared. But if you go up to the EVO 7, the biggest one, it'd be 5,000 meters squared. Right, let's check it out then. Let's open up the box. And as you can see, a couple of little things already. We've got the measurer. So basically when you're digging in your line or you're pegging your line around the edge of the garden, use this measure for basically hard, soft, or surfaces you want to run over. And there she is. What a beautiful bit of equipment that is. Now in the box itself, you get your power lead, you get your pegs for your base station, you get your base station, and you get your machine yourself. You'll need to download the STIHL iMow app, and that's really simple. I've connected it up to my phone and it literally took less than 2 minutes, so really, really easy. So we'll put the base station in and then we'll start pegging. In the mower box itself, you get a quick self-install guide, which is really, really simple, step-by-step guide how to put the robot mower into your garden. But obviously if you are one of those sort of people that might find it a little bit daunting, then go to a specialist dealer and they'll put it in the garden for you. Or you might not have time and you just want to pay someone to do that. Well, that is absolutely fine. And you'll find obviously with us, we pegged it around the garden. So we've done that sort of outline around the garden. With a dealer, they might have a cable layer, so it cuts the ground and puts the wire into the ground and hides it away. But for us, we pegged it, so it means we can basically move the wire if we want to and adjust it around the garden if need be. Let's check in and see what Richie's up to. So he is putting in the base station by the looks of it.
So it's out of sight, and then what I'll do is boundary wires all through there, round the perimeter, back through there, and then the guide wire comes straight out to the furthest point away. Yeah,
and the guide wire is like a homing wire, so we'll put that out on the lawn somewhere in the middle, so it makes it easy for the machine to find its way back. And security wise, obviously Richie is hiding the base station out of sight, but these mowers have got really high security. So
Yeah, they do.
They've got alarms, they've got the GPS, so you can track the machine if it was ever to be picked up. But let's peg the boundary wire then, Rich. And
Yep.
use your little measuring tool to get the set distances, and then we'll check back. Rich, I think you got a friend there, mate.
I think so.
Just wants to play ball, Rich. I'll play ball. Have you worked out what the measure is then, Rich? What
Yeah,
the guides are? So what's the smallest one then?
that's for like going over patios which are level with the lawn.
Yeah.
So he just drives over, so you just one less thing to trim
Yeah.
around the edges. And I like for against walls and like drops and things, so 37 centimeters, virtually all the way around. But if you have a pond, then I'd advise you go a bit further away, maybe 100 centimeters. So at least if it is on a slight slope and you get power cut or something happens, there's no runoff and it ends up as a boat.
Cool. And that's the beauty behind the wired system as well, isn't it? It's a
Yeah.
little bit more secure than some of the others on the market. And you know what you're getting with STIHL as well. Quality German equipment.
Absolutely.
It's like a big cotton reel, that, Richie.
It is. So we're just roughly pegging it out and then we'll tighten it all up as we go.
So you can see it's really simple to put that in. And we've spent probably only about 20 minutes and we're, I'd say, a good half, if not 3/4 of the way around the garden.
Just going to leave a little loop because this is where the guide wire is going to come into and connect to the boundary wire. So it'll come all the way from the base station, all the way across the lawn, into here, and then it helps it go home.
We've got to a point in the garden and that is the bonfire. And that bonfire there, we need to make it as a no-go zone for the time being because Rachel wants to burn that rubbish up and that'll be cleared from the garden. And then after that, she wants that to be mown. So what Rich is doing at the moment, he's going to put in what we call a lollipop or a no-go zone. So the boundary wire comes to the point in the garden closest to the obstacle, or if you've got a board or anything like that or a pond, bring the wire up through. You'll then go anti-clockwise around that obstacle, bring it back to that point, we'll meet the two wires up, and they're not going to be joined, but they'll be overlaid across each other like so, nice and close, all the way to that point, all the way down there in a second. And then at a later date, when Rachel wants to clear that and that area to be mown, we can basically just cut those two bits of wire, join them up, that creates a boundary again, and then that area be nice and mown. Easy as that, Rich. So we've got all the boundary wire in now. Richie's putting the power source in. Power source comes in on this little socket here, get plugged into the white coupler there. The boundary wire comes in this side and we'll thread the other one in a minute and that will go in that side. And on this particular machine you've got 3 guide wires. So if you've got a complicated garden, it means you've got a better system for the machine to find its way home and know where it's going in the garden. So we'll get those joined up. Rich, can you switch the power on? Just see if we got some life. Whoa, look at that. We have lights. So we know we've got some power. Typical Devon weather. We stopped for a spot of lunch and the sun's gone in. So we've got no sun, but we've nearly finished the install. So we've got the mower in the base station, it's now charging up. So I've downloaded the app and it's on my phone, so it's easy now to control the machine from away. So you don't have to be next to the machine to actually see what it's doing. So if we unlock it by just holding in that button there, you can see those LED lights go across the screen, which is really, really neat.
Press the 4 buttons in the order shown to unlock me.
And we'll unlock it by going 1, 2, 3, 4.
My device lock was deactivated.
And look at that. That's really cool. You got that.
Press the unlock button to unlock me.
Doesn't even let me get a word in edgeways. Yeah, you've got an LED matrix on top there, which I'll show you a bit more in a minute. So what we'll do now is we can now unlock it.
I am unlocked.
There we go. And now we can go.
To begin mowing.
Now we can go.
Home if I should wait in the charging station for a new mowing job.
Oh dear, I can see it's going to be one of those sort of days. So what we can do now is open up the app. We can change all the schedules. We can change the mowing height.
Press the unlock button to unlock me.
Thank you, STIHL. Right, okay, let's go like that.
I am unlocked.
And let's press play.
Mowing job started.
There we go. Oh, we are away, Rich. We are away. Look at that LED matrix on the top. That is smart. What should we call it, Rich?
Bob.
Bob the iMow.
Yeah.
Bob the iMow. Look at it. Look, and that is super cool, isn't it? That LED matrix on the top of the mower. I love that.
To say it's cutting.
Oh, amazing. And they're super quiet. You obviously don't have any grass heaps because it mulches the lawn. Cuts up really, really fine. And the other thing you have got on the iMow, you've got that lovely LED strip around the front of the machine. And you've got the ultrasonic sensors. So If it goes up to anything, it should, in theory, slow down and then just nudge itself and then turn around and go the opposite way. So if you've got any kids or anything like that, or obstacles in the garden.
Or toys and things like
Toys,
that, yeah.
fantastic. Obviously nice big clear buttons on the top as well. And, you know, a robot mower is designed for someone that doesn't have time to cut the grass or wants a superb finish in their lawn. So yeah, we are super happy with that.
Now, mower's all set up on this simple lawn, but if you've got a more complex lawn, you can do zone management, which will go different areas, and also 45% slopes it'll do. Now, let's take a look at the blades. On the mowers, they've got 3 swing tip blades. So if it hits a harder object, they just swing in, and also it gives you a nice finer finish. And then also it's got toolless blade change.
And you'll see now, it's got to the wire, and it will now turn around and go in a completely opposite direction. And the reason it does that is so you don't have straight lines or imprints on the lawn. So once it's been around the lawn for several days, you'll get a nice uniform finish. So we're expecting all that grass area to be like an absolute bowling green once it's done. And it's now raining. So we had sunshine in the morning, we've had grey clouds at lunchtime,
Yeah.
and it's now raining. So we love it. But that is the beauty behind a robot mower. You can cut in any weather. So we'll leave it to do its thing, and we are going to check back in 3 to 4 weeks, something like that, Rich?
Yeah.
Yeah, see what it does, see what the grass finish is like and how it's improved Rachel's life. Right, so we've been away for a couple of weeks now, so let's see it in action before we show you the results. So there it is, there's Bob doing its job. Now, Rachel has actually programmed it to run at night, but because we come over today, we thought we'll have an out and running, show you guys what it's all about. So yeah, the garden is looking pretty good. To say that we've only put it in here for a couple of weeks, the grass is nice and short. It's all uniform. There's no tufts or anything like that. So it's keeping it nice and really clean. And the other beauty, obviously, behind the robot mower is it will keep that length of grass all the time as well. So you're not leaving it a week for the grass to grow up and then cutting it. It just gives you a nice pristine finish all the time. But yeah, what do you think, Rich?
Yeah, it's looking good.
It's looking really
It's only
nice.
cutting like 1 to 2 millimeters
Yeah.
consistently. So yeah, and it keeps it all nice and uniformed and even.
And again, we've had some pretty awful weather the last couple of weeks. We had a relatively dry week last week, but the nice thing is obviously it can mow in pretty much any weather. Obviously you wouldn't send it out when it's snowing or anything like that, but yeah, perfect. It's like having your own personal gardener. Right, so let's hear from Rachel and see what she has to say about it.
Hi Josh, just wanted to say that the new mower is epic. It cuts the grass, I don't have to think about it. It looks really lovely. I've set it between 1 AM and 6 AM and it kind of goes out each night, does its thing. And you look out in the morning and someone's cut the grass. It's wonderful. So yeah, just want to say thank you. And yeah, it's starting to thicken up in places, which is pretty cool. Like the grass is getting a bit better. You might have seen that earlier on. So yeah, back from work today and yeah, grass is all done. So epic. Thanks very much.
So thanks for that, Rach.
We're Machinery Nation.
We bring you product videos every week all about tools and machinery. Please subscribe, let us know in the comments below if you've got a robot mower or looking to buy one this year, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheerio!